Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Gearbox. It's your boy John, and I hope all of y'all are having a great day. And also, I hope you had a happy 4th. So, the day that we have all been waiting for since my last video, the mystery item for my 2019 WRX has finally arrived, and I am going to give y'all a little sneak peek of it right now. So, as you can see, a very typical upgrade for the WRX platform and a lot of other platforms. That is the Stage 1 platform, so cold air intake and the Cobb access port. So, kind of going back to my video last time, I mean, obviously there will be a horsepower gain, but that's not necessarily what I'm looking for. It's more so the drivability of the car. Supposedly the access port will completely eliminate all the rev hang and everything like that. And also an added bonus is the intake supposedly makes the turbo sound amazing. So all in all, that's what it is. I hope y'all are excited about it. I have never done any install like this. Kind of nervous, I guess. You know, I don't like the idea of potentially fucking up my car, but we're gonna fucking send it anyway. So anyway, we are going to get all this stuff up in my garage, and I'm gonna try to do a very detailed approach to kind of how to install it. I was watching a bunch of videos last night and everything, and some of them were better than others, obviously, but I just feel like there wasn't an extremely complete video of like how to do everything and the best way to go about it. So I want to take it upon me and go ahead and do that. But anyway, I will get this stuff up in the garage, get my car up on a jack, and we'll just go ahead and get started. All right, guys. So the first order of business is going to be to get this duct off. And as you can see, they're right here and right here. I already have one off. Then after we remove this, we're moving to the stock air box. Also, just something important to point out, I do have this up on jacks just a little bit. There is an under tray that I've heard will make it a lot easier to get to the turbo, which is basically down here. So I will show that once I start taking off the under tray. All right, guys, next up we have this bolt right here, these two bolts that attach to the air box, and then if y'all can see there's a bolt like right down there we're gonna have to get, and that attaches to the actual frame of the car. So we're gonna work on that. It's a 10mm socket, I'm pretty sure. So we're gonna go ahead and knock those out. As you can see, we already got the duct off, which is laying right over there. And we'll just go ahead and get right to it. All right. I finally am about to take out the stock intake. I mean, this bolt right here that I was showing y'all earlier was the biggest pain in the ass. And then the, not necessarily the hose clamp, but the hose that connects, that goes right into the turbo, was a bitch to get off. And this South Carolina heat is fucking me up. But anyway, moment of truth. There we go. All right, so that's the stock intake. There's the other part that kind of marries up with it. Another thing to remember is to make sure you get your MAF sensor out, because that is important. You know, as you see, I mean, there's a lot of room to work with under here. And now it's time to do the exact opposite thing, but with this bad boy. I need to double check and make sure the filter's on the right side, but I think it should be good. But yeah, so all in all, it was pretty easy, except for a couple, like I said, that bolt, and then just getting it off. I only took, I don't know if y'all can see that, I only took like that part of the under tray off. That's all you need. it would make it easier to take the whole thing off, but as far as just trying to be quick about it, it really wouldn't have made that much of a difference. And besides, working under this tiny ass little jack is a pain in the ass. But anyway, we're gonna get to it. I'll definitely try to show y'all some more detail of putting it back on, because if you can do it, you know, taking it off, you can put it back on pretty easy. So, all right guys, so now that we have the stock intake and everything kind of ready to go, I do want to point out you will need to actually remove the MAF sensor from the harness. So right now what we're going to do, and you can do this one of two ways. You can either, you know, put stuff on the intake or put stuff on the car, you know, as you go, and get all the grommets and, what's it called? I don't know. Anyway, you can either do that as you go, or you can do it on the front end. I am opting to do it on the front end just because I like to be able to, you know, once I get all the bullshit out of the way, just go ahead and put it on. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get this factory sensor out of here, or in here. And what we're gonna do, this hardware that comes with it, you'll need an Allen key. And I've found that it will be a 2.5. So right now we're just gonna, you know, put this puppy on in here, and we'll get on to the next thing. All right, everyone, so right now we have the intake tubing in place. We also have the silicone, like, I don't know, piece that goes onto the turbo inlet. None of the hose clamps or anything are tightened down. What I wanted to show you guys is just how this OEM harness or mount marries up in relation to the Cobb mount. So basically you'll put this one on top of it, and then bolt it down. Like I said, making sure that gasket's on there, and it actually fits pretty snug. Now what I wanted to show you is how to get this OEM harness attached to the Cobb harness, just to give it a little extra room to you know, work around inside the engine bay. So it's pretty simple. This end right here will connect into the stock harness, and then from there, this piece goes on to the MAF sensor. So right now I'm gonna do that, and then I think I ended up having to take some more of the under tray off because your boy was just not having it. But it's not that bad, just those little clips. I've only broken like 1 or 2 of them, which is a fucking miracle if you've ever taken off our exterior pieces with those things holding them on. But anyway, I'm gonna put this on, and then once I get this on and get the silicone piece to the turbo inlet, from there it's pretty simple. I think I'm just going to redo all the under tray, make sure everything's tight, and then once I have the bottom figured out, the top stuff's pretty easy. The next thing I'll really have to do is just build the little case that comes in, the heat shield, and then throw on the intake and we'll be good. And then gotta reflash my car and we're gonna go for a drive. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'll get back to y'all when I'm probably almost done. All right, we got the bottom tray back in order. We have everything buttoned up here. Everything on the bottom end is tightened as far as the hose clamps, and making sure. There's one thing I was reading online while doing this, just to make sure. I would hate to have to go back and do it again. But the silicone hose that comes with the kit, they do point out that the stock intake has it's like a little notch on the turbo inlet that aligns the stock intake, you know, with all the hosing and everything. And they said on Cobb's website to just make sure that you do not overlap the silicone with that, because that'll cause a boost leak, and then you'll be scratching your head trying to think what the hell is going on. But it's really not that big a deal. But if you make sure, if you're looking after it on the front end, you know, you can avoid a lot of headaches and shit. All right, guys, the time you've been waiting for, we are finally finished. Looks amazing right here. This intake it's not going anywhere. Cobb made sure of that. But all in all, it wasn't too bad. I think it took me around 3 hours. A lot of which was never working on the car before, not being familiar with kind of how everything works. But I mean, it wasn't too bad, honestly. Once you kind of figured it all out, wasn't bad at all. There was a couple tiny little fitment issues, but if you kind of muscle it around, not bad at all. So, rip stock intake, and hello to the beautiful Cobb intake. So now is the time for the real, you know, part that we've all been waiting for, is the Cobb access port. So if we go over here, we have the access port right here, and then the ECU connection. So I'm gonna hop in the car, make sure everything is tightened down for like the 5th time, and then we'll flash it and we'll go out for a drive and see what's up with this Cobb access port. That is great. I mean, the turbo noise, it is so like distinct. You can just hear, I mean, the upgrade from the stock intake to this intake, I mean, the new intake it's big, and it is 100% sucking a hell of a lot more air, and you can hear it. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Like I said, I doubt you can hear it on camera, but just know that it is good. Oh man, this is great. You know, I am in no way, shape, or form sponsored by Cobb, related to Cobb in any way, shape, or form, but like, just the car, it's just the only thing I can say is it's so much more alive. Like, you know, usually on factory map, factory intake, you get to about 4,500 and it just kind of dies out. But I mean, this is unreal. Like, I mean, for $1,000, you know, I understand that, you know, some people might be a little tempted and or not super stoked to try to spend $1,000 on car parts, but you know, I've been there, I've done that, and let me tell you, it is so worth it. All right, guys, I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna go enjoy this a little bit, because let me tell you, I put in 3 hours of work, sweating my ass off, and I've been looking forward to this. But anyway, I appreciate all the love y'all showed on the last video, 5 things I hate about my WRX. Please give me the same love, if not more, on this video. Like, subscribe, notification bell, you know the deal. Thank you for watching Gearbox, and I'll see you next time.